exile, lived in Southport. And this is true. And when he got back to Paris, when he was restored to become the head, become Napoleon III again, he decided that Paris needed to be redesigned and chose a man called Haussmann to do it.
Yes, from whom we get Boulevard Haussmann and all those wonderful boulevards in Paris.
And he said, the design I would like is I've been in England in a place called Southport, and I would like it to look like Southport with these wide boulevards and these big circles. And that is why Paris looks like Southport.
Yes, but the actual roundabout was the invention of a French town planner who was called Eugénie Hénard at the turn of the 20th century.
Haussmann had lots of people working for him, and...
Earlier, before the start of the show, Charles told me that my key card for my dressing room would also work on the tube. Is that true?
I mean, so Haussmann did do a marvellous job in making big boulevards, but the actual, what's called a carrefour giratoire, the roundabout, was a French town planner who otherwise is, I think, not really known. Initially, you were allowed to go in any direction.
See, I like that.
Which was...
Where are you coming from?
Hey,
Start a riot.
yeah. So one of the largest was at the Arc de Triomphe, and it was a nightmare. And then Hénard suggested that maybe we should all go in one direction, and the rule was adopted nationwide. So that roundabout, it's 8 lanes wide. It's notorious. It's called the Étoile, and there's a legend that an American tourist once found themselves. So he was sucked into the innermost lane, and he kept going until he ran out of petrol. As if they couldn't. And so in 1907, British researchers were sent to observe it, and they copied it, and they installed the very first. Yes, darling.
You're going to find this almost impossible to believe. My father, this is getting really close now.
Yes.
My father
Yes.
was the legal advisor to the Automobile Association.
Right.
And a friend of Ernest Marples, who was the transport minister in the 1950s or 60s. My father went with Ernest Marples to help him open Britain's first roundabout in Letchworth Newtown.
You are absolutely right.
Thank you.
I totally love this. So there's the Arc de Triomphe, which inspired Letchworth.
Can you see the red car? This is my dad.
Can I just recommend to you, if nobody's gone to Letchworth, you know how we like an old museum?
Yeah, love it.
The Garden City Collection has got the oldest toilet roll in the UK.
Oh.
It's 83 years old, unused. Now, it's time to take a turn for the worse as we enter the head-spinning round that we call General Ignorance. Fast as we can, please. Fingers on buzzers. What can you put on your fish and chips in a chippy? Yeah.
Salt and vinegar.
Not salt and vinegar. Salt, yes, but not vinegar, because it's not vinegar. It's all labelled non-brewed condiment. By law, not only can it not be labelled as vinegar, you can't even put it in a receptacle that would usually hold vinegar.
So could you start...
Tell that to her on the right.
It's not vinegar.
Not vinegar?
No, it's a combination of water and ethanoic acid and flavourings, and then it's watered down even further to be served to customers. It's cheaper, it takes less time to make, you can buy it in concentrated form.
And it's lovely... salt and sauce, do you?
No.
What is the sauce in the salt sauce?
In Edinburgh they have salt and sauce. In Glasgow we have salt and vinegar because we're classy.
But you don't. What you actually have is salt and non-brewed condiment.
You said that all the bottles of vinegar I've ever owned never said vinegar on them.
No, if you buy it in a shop and it says vinegar in it, it is vinegar. If you say to the fish and chip person, please could you put vinegar on it, it isn't vinegar, it is in fact non-brewed condiment, but weirdly people don't order it like that.
Well, they do from now on.
I know.
I'm absolutely shell-shocked by this new sound. Of all the things you've ever told me on QI,
This is the one that's upset you.
This is the one that's really rocked my world.
Yeah, no, so you have to put your vinegar that you bought in the shop. So you've got malt vinegar, and that is actually made, you ferment an ale from malted barley, much like red wine vinegar is actually made from red wine, although it has threads of alcohol left in it.
Oh, I love red.
If you ask for vinegar on your fish and chips, you probably won't get it. How many trees are there on the planet compared surface than they did in 1982. So that sounds good, and NASA says they've got images that show 5% increase in the total area, but it's not a good thing. Because it's China, fundamentally, that has done this very large afforestation project in the world. They've doubled their tree coverage. However, it's forestation for agricultural purposes. So we are talking about single species of trees. We're talking about unnatural monoculture.
You don't get ecosystem, you don't get wildlife
biodiversity.
and insects.
Yeah, and also lots of trees have been planted on unsuitable land, and they are basically dying. Who invented the battle technique of blitzkrieg? Yes!
Someone Giles is related to.
Blitzkrieg Brandreth.
The Wehrmacht German army.
The Germans. No.
The French.
Russian.
Russian.
British.
British.
It was us.
Yes.
That's pretty much us.
We need it.
So it is a German word. Blitz, lightning, Krieg, war. Very rarely used in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. Definitely not used by the German leaders when the Blitzkrieg actually happened. They invaded Poland in 1939, France in 1941. In fact, Hitler called it a completely idiotic word. Ein ganz blödsinniger Wort. It's not often I quote Hitler. In fact, the Germans, the success of the Blitzkrieg completely surprised them. They thought it was rather a miracle. But it wasn't any new innovation. So what happens is there are short, sharp attacks on the ground with armoured vehicles, and then the air support comes in behind and kind of finishes things off.
Attacks. Lots of peaceful, undefended villages.
That's it. That's this kind of tank and aircraft warfare since it's been evolving since World War I, so it was not really a new thing. But the British and American press, they decided the advance by the Germans, even the Germans, had to be a revolutionary new kind of warfare, so they claimed that the man in charge of commanding the mechanized troops, General Heinz Guderian, was the father of the Blitzkrieg. And so in lots of publicity in the press, and in the end, the soldiers on the ground were using it, but it was not a German invention at all.
Just giving it a German name to make it sound.
That's it. To make it sound like they had invented something, that a new technique that would explain why the Allied forces were using that term. Now, what goes around comes around, so we're back to revolutions. In which month do Russians celebrate this revolution?
October.
So it is called the October Revolution, you're absolutely right, but it isn't celebrated in October, it's celebrated in November. Why might that be?
Because it's my birthday and everyone has a party on my birthday.
Did they shift the calendar?
They did shift the calendar, that's exactly it. So Russia was still using the Julian calendar, which was 13 days behind. The Bolsheviks under Lenin revolted on October the 24th and 25th, but it was, according to the rest of Europe, November the 6th.
So it's my birthday, November the 6th.
Is it?
Yeah. So is it?
Lenin would have been so pleased.
Is it?
And with these revolutionary revelations, we come to the final scores. I can tell you, in last place with -14, it's Alan. Susan.
Oh, yeah.
Second place with 4 points, Jessica. 5 points in first place because he is related and invented first place. Yes, Jessica, Giles, Susan and Anne. I leave you with these words from American actress Lee Grant, which exposed the real problem it.
Two eyes. Let's begin with your eyes are level.
Okay, let us imagine that we're leaking and writing on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And you can read it perfectly well. And then you look in a mirror, the writing on the t-shirt appears to be flipped.
Yeah.
Like that. So you can see it's back to front. Yeah, why is that? Why does the mirror do that? And why does it not flip us upside down as well? Why does it only flip as badly left to right?
Is it not what Alan said about your eyes being left and right?
I like your eyes are on the side of your head when you do that.
Yeah.
It's like a fish.
Your eyesight actually looking is does your brain flip?
Have you had a stroke?
Yeah.
When it comes in your eye, it's already flipped,
Right.
and your brain flips it around.
What he said.
Right. I think everybody is making it much too complicated. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try this, and Joe is going to be my assistant. Joe, I want you to take a piece of card that we have got here.
Yes.
Write a large, clear word in capital letters.
Oh my god, are you going to try and guess it?
No, I don't want to guess it. It's not a magic trick.
Then I want a magic trick.
Lisa,
Any word?
any word, darling. What about the word boss, for example, which, you know, lots of people
Looks like we're off to court.
Right, so can you write the same word on this piece of glass? Okay, so I am going to go over here and stand in front of the camera and the glass, and you can see, hopefully, are the audience able to see this? Can you see it on the monitors, everybody? So you can see that it says boss. Now, when I have it, as it were, on my t-shirt, and I look in the mirror, it is... It's flipped around, okay?
Yeah.
So the question is, why does it do that? Well, the mirror hasn't done anything. It was me who flipped it round. There is absolutely nothing happening in the mirror. If you look at the card, I am flipping it around. The mirror has not done anything, and in fact, if you bring the glass down, bring the piece of glass over here. Have you written the same word on the piece of glass?
Yeah.
Okay, so come here, my darling. Let's put the card behind it. Let's imagine there it is. Can you see that perfectly well? There it says boss. But if I don't flip it around now, because it's written on glass, when we look in the mirror, it is perfectly fine. The mirror has not done anything. It is me who did the flipping around. Thank you, my darling. The most brilliant magician's assistant there. Fantastic. Imagine if you were a fish and you had your eyes on either side of your head, and the fish, I've got a picture of a fish swimming. There we go. So a fish swimming alongside a mirror would see the eye exactly where it's supposed to be, and the tail exactly where it's supposed to be. It would know that the mirror has done nothing. The flipping is done by us, not by the mirror. I don't think I've ever questioned that. No, and then actually once you do start thinking about it, it does slightly do your head in.
So hang on, is Alan over there because I've done it in my head?
Yes.
Everyone's done the inner
You know what happened, but I am alone.
Is there a mirror?
There is nothing that I'm curious about. There is a component to each round of the mirror there. If you, and you could try this when you're mirrored home, hold it quite close to your face, okay? Look into one or other of your eyes in the reflection, just choose one. If you then transfer your gaze to the other eye, you will not see your eyes move, although someone watching is quite dead.
Oh, that's so weird.
That is quite strange, isn't it?
It bulged forward as well.
Your eye.
No, the whole part of that part of my face.
I think that's a medical condition. So how you try it? So this is my 5th year investing, and I expect all trouble to come from my right, and today it's from my left. It's a very strange thing. Here's a question for you. If I'm in a box with a mirrored if I'm in a box with a mirrored interior, and shone a light into it and we closed it, does the light keep bouncing around forever?
Are
you in the box?
Yeah, I'm in the box with a small torch. It's working that way.
Listen,
And I
stand on the box
yeah.
and go, Sandy,
If I turn-
Sandy, can you say goodbye?
I turn the torch on, I turn it off again, will it bounce around forever? Why not?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
No,
But if you imagine this was a giant box and you had two mirrors in there and you shone a torch, you wouldn't if you then shone the torch off.
it's not going to bounce around back and forth. But why not?
Because
It's because no mirror reflects 100% of the light striking it. So some of it is absorbed and eventually, actually unbelievably quickly, because it's millions of times per second, it would be absorbed by the mirror and it would leave the interior completely dark. It's a mirror. That we can work out what's going on in a reflection pattern. What can this fish do that a baby can't?
Stay underwater.
Yeah, the swim underwater is absolutely yes. There used to be a myth that babies could do that, but that is not true.
No, I learned that on the hard way. 3 nieces was too many anyway. Yeah.
We don't have a fish, yes. Stripy fish.
Cleaner fish.
It's a cleaner fish, yes it is. It's a cleaner wrasse.
Is it something to do with reflections? Because that was the topic. So
Well done, Jake. Very intelligent.
can it recognise itself in a mirror because babies can't?
Correct. It's one of the very few animals, in fact it's the very first fish to pass what's called the mirror test, to recognise its reflection of itself.
How do you test that?
Well, so what you do is you mark the animal in a place where it can only see the mark in a mirror, so the forehead or in the place, and then see whether or not it observes it, or whether or not it tries to scratch it to remove it.
Well, that's a job, though, Sandy. All it can do is scratch that off and no answer.
Except that cleaning off marks, I mean, is what it does for a living. Yeah, they do actually have stations, and their clients, as it were, come to the station to be cleaned. They work for about 4 hours a day, and they clean about 2,000 clients. So it does seem like, when you're looking at them, as if it's a job. That's what they do for a living. That's his inside man of your card. Look at that picture. I think it's so exciting.
Just a bit like trust.
Under a trust, except that all of the fish that are cleaned end up living longer, and they tend to be smarter because they don't have the parasites. I mean, there is a sort of a caveat with this. It's possible that what the wrasse is actually doing is signaling to the other wrasse in the mirror, if you see what I mean, that it ought to clean itself. It actually doesn't clean itself. It's going to the other wrasse. It's got a little something. It's got a little something here, so it may not be aware that it's a mirror image of itself.
When the babies start talking,
About the age of 2.
I really think it was my daughter. She knew the way to City Farm. She was 1.5.
She tried to get away.
It's
There's actually very few species that pass the test. Great apes and this, they do quite a lot of williams. What I love is that animals do exactly what humans do when they discover a mirror for the very first time. First of all, an animal will look behind it to see if there's an animal behind it, and then they'll do funny movements, unfair, to see what it is. And then they will indulge in the same behaviour as an office worker left alone with a photocopier. See parts of their body they've not been able to look at before. I know, yeah.
I don't know what mirror seating either.
No, I don't think it is, really.
Mirror chair. It's very unselfish then.
Would you get a mirrored internal bowl of a toilet? Because that'd be like a fun mirror for your undercarriage, wouldn't it? Because a curve to it.
If you have a mirror in your rider, I can't see why you couldn't
Because
shoot
honestly,
at yourself.
what is wrong with me? This is fun, darling. You've actually got an aiming device that doesn't seem to work.
does, because there's in one pub in London that I went to, there's like a game, and it's got sensors in the urinal, and I got the top score on and it asks you to put your name in, but I didn't want to put my name in, so I put Adrian Childs. There's a pub in central London where Adrian Childs has got a real reputation.
Most animals either ignore their mirror image or they perceive it to be another animal. Sometimes they attack. It's really common in garden birds. Have you ever seen that when a garden bird has a go at a window? There are reports of robins attacking as many as 15 windows in the same house because if you close the curtain and try and stop the reflection, it will think that the enemy is simply hiding and go look for another window. And another use of mirrors, which depends on animals not recognising their reflections, is flamingos. They attack. And it's really common in garden birds. Have you ever seen that when a garden bird has a go at a window? There are reports of robins attacking as many as 15 windows in the same house because if you close the curtains and try and stop the reflection, it will think that the enemy is simply hiding and go look for another window. And another use of mirrors, which depends on animals not recognising their reflections, is flamingos. So I don't know if you've ever seen this in the zoo. Sometimes see there's a mirror in the flamingo enclosure. That is because they will not breed until the colony has achieved a certain minimum size. And so they trick smaller groups into breeding. Wow, there's loads of us, let's breed.
That's sort of the flamingo equivalent of sort of mirrored ceiling in a brothel.
Yeah. It's a turn on.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. I've never given mirrors much thought. Have you not? Not like this. No. I know, it's interesting, isn't it? That's good.
Recognising yourself in a mirror is a sign of exceptional intelligence. So well done to all our panel for getting through makeup tonight. Right, now I'm going to make you write like Leonardo da Vinci. How do you think I am going to do that?
Did he
Teach us Italian.
write reflective?
He wrote what's called mirror writing. So we are going to see if we can do this without thinking about it. Underneath the table, you'll feel a piece of paper, and you should have a pen. Take the pen,
Yeah.
and I want you to write your names on the piece of paper as it is under the desk. So write your first name on the piece of paper. This looks so weird. I've already got it. Okay, so done. Okay, let's take them out and have a look. Let's start with Zoe. Let's have a look at yours.
Oh, that's pretty good for me.
Okay, but what is the thing about it that's interesting is it's back to front.
Some of it is,
Well, it's
but some of it isn't.
The O is not.
yeah.
It always is.
Well, how about you, Alan? Same for you? Oh, wow. Are you left-handed, Alan?
Nope.
That is...
I'm just a fucking genius.
Done. Oh, yes, done. Mirror. Done mirror, right? Yeah. What about you, Joe? Wow, the boy is...
I am left-handed then.
You are left-handed.
Does that affect it?
Yes, I think it does. The brain is wired slightly differently. It's an unusual demand, so it confuses our brains. It's not unusual to do it as mirror writing. It's common in children who are learning to
I've
write.
got half of them. That one's back to front, but that one's the right one.
You're right to be disappointed, that shit.
It is a bit.
One looks the same either way.
So what's all this got to do with Leonardo da Vinci? Well, he wrote his personal notes in mirror writing and nobody really knows why. Possibly for privacy, that is a possible thing. Maybe just to amuse himself. But he was left-handed. And my son is left-handed and I asked him and he said it's possible. He was just more comfortable. When the pen goes away from the body, as it does for a right-handed person when you're writing, it just feels better.
Well, no, also, I found when I was at school, particularly when you're using a fountain pen, you smudge it as you go over it.
Yeah.
So he was smart, wasn't he, Liam?
Yeah, well,
I think we haven't given him enough credit.
we have a generally poor memory for the configuration of objects, so I'm going to do a couple of quick tests to demonstrate. So, the audience, let's start with you. You've all seen the Statue of Liberty, I am sure. You've seen a picture of it 1,000 times. I want you to vote whether the statue holds the torch in the right or the left hand.
Oh, God.
So hands up for right, and hands up for left. Well, I think left pretty much had the edge there, and the answer is it's in the right hand. Okay, let's try the panel. So we see fonts all the time now, that's the thing. Which of the 4 lowercase g's written on the screen is correct? Number 1, 3. 1, 3, 4.
1 and 2. 1 and 2.
2. Well, let's vote the audience vote for number 1. Hardly anybody. Number 2. Quite a lot. Number 3. Even more. Number 4.
Tim.
Well, so none of us can really remember. The answer is number 2. Number 2 is the correct one, yeah. But these are things we see all the time, and we have an inability to correctly recall the configuration of things. Where do we routinely see mirror writing? We see it almost every day if you're driving.
Ambulances.
Yeah, fire engines and ambulances, it's written so that you can read it in the rearview mirror. Can I just show you this? I love this. In 2015, the city of Nanjing, they actually made fire engines that were, if you like, mirror images of themselves. Don't you love these? They're like push-me, pull-yous. Yeah. So they have tunnels, they have very crowded, narrow streets, and so